So we talked about like all the things in the industry, like, and we kind of touched on this slightly about your kit, but I think we need to go back to pro discounts. There are pro discounts with a lot of brands out there that will save you lots and lots of time and money in your kit.
Yes. Pro discounts specifically for professional quality artistry focused brands. You know, we talk about, you know, you're in this industry, you're a beauty lover, you're a makeup lover, but it really just sort of comes down to the form and function and the output of your products. You know, this is specifically for someone who is going to work with a plethora of skin tones. So you are going to have whether it's a foundation, concealer, or an eyeshadow palette that is saturated so that you can create the right color for any type of skin tone. It'll allow you to sort of mix and match. Now, every product out there is not necessarily meant to go in your kit, but the products in your kit should be an investment, you know, and it's also going to go into going back to what we said about your worth and what you're charging. You know, let's be real. If your client can probably buy that for about, I don't know, $20 or $30, they're going to probably question why they're paying you this rate, considering I can do those same things with something else. And let's be honest, you know, social media is just constantly in someone's face. So there are so many products and techniques that are recommended. That's great. However, as an artist, it is truly your responsibility and your bearing to be able to create whatever they may see with not just that one specific product held up by that one specific influencer, but I can create something like that. I don't need that particular thing. And that's, again, goes back to your artistry and your education. You know, I've had times where I've left part of my kit some places, or I've had to, you know,
make it work.
I have, and I've had to sort of, you know, sort of compact my kit generally just for space reasons or whatnot. And you can't just rely on, I need to have this big palette for this particular color. You know, I've literally had pencils, multifunction eye pencils by a professional brand that are literally specifically for artists, professional brushes, and I can make it work. And I've had make it work, you know. You talk about like powders and skin tones, you know, I don't need to have 10 things stacked up. You know, certain products, professional brands, they will have a handful of colors that'll generally like work with everyone, but I've done a lot with a handful of things and then made it look amazing. That's because I'm using professional quality things. You know, I'm a Mercedes. You got to gas me up with the right fuel in order for it to work. And so think about what you're buying and where you're buying and what you're investing in.
Well, like you said, it does need to reflect the price that you're charging, because people are not going to want to pay you for not quality product being put on their face that they could buy every day.
Yeah. And not even just quality, but consistency. You know, oftentimes we talk about products, yeah, it's a little inconsistent, it's a little patchy. That's because that's the quality you get. It's very inexpensive, yes, it might be great for you, but you don't have time to do all these prep work and after work when you have 5 or 6 faces to do, or when you're, you know, you have maybe 5-minute call time per set. You know, that's not what that is for. When you focus on professional quality, brands that are specifically for artists and artistry, you know that I can get this done in 5 minutes because that's what it's for. You've had artists test run it. You know, there are also, I mean, going back to finding an artist, there are a lot of artists now, professional artists, who have lines because I needed this product, I needed this technique, so they've created things. I mean, I have things that I've now personally have, you know, transitioned into my personal kit, my own personal makeup kit, because now I don't need 50 million things. You know, I'm a woman, you know, I'm 38 years old, so things need to, skincare goes up and makeup may go down. So there's nothing wrong with using professional quality on yourself, because again, it's multi-use, multifunctional, but it's super important to, when you like this particular artist, look at if they do have a makeup line, specifically if it's focused towards pros.
I actually, not that I intended to even go this direction, but I think it's kind of important to mention. buying things from reputable places. I think about, you know, just coming from the salon distribution world before I started doing this, and I won't go to my whole resume or anything, but, you know, there are products that are in packaging that look like the actual product that are not the product. So even if you're buying somewhere like Amazon, you want to make sure that it's coming from a store that is the store that created the product. You don't want to buy something from just a third-party seller because it may not be that product.
Yeah, that is, I mean, being, you know, licensed cosmetologist and working in the school and having that conversation about, you know, diversion or just, you know, why can I use this versus that? And the reason you don't is because that product is not necessarily meant for the ultimate longevity. It might be meant for something quick, something whatever. But as someone who is aware of, if you use it for an extended period of time, now you have a whole other slew of problems. You know, when you talk about like makeup, you know, going back to being licensed and having insurance, if you don't know where you got it from and then you put it on somebody and there's a reaction or there's whatever, you know, where did you get it from? I bought it from an online retailer. Is it an official retailer? Because you actually will void certain clauses because you didn't buy it from a reputable, you didn't buy it from an actual dealer or distributor, which is very unfortunate, but it's very important to know because again, you're a business. This is sustaining, you know, we can't just close the door and lock the key and someone else is going to take care of it. This is on us. So know where you're buying from, who you're buying from, and when you do have that face-to-face, that connection, it actually becomes a lot easier to deal with. You know, COVID has created a sort of a boondoggle of, you know, distribution and whatnot, but there are brands out there that are doing just fine. Mm-hmm. And again, if you are professional, you know, you aren't buying every 2 days, every 6 months, you're not always running out. So as you are stocking your kit, make stock of, I probably should order this now before I run out tomorrow. I actually just recently made like my skincare order for the first part of next year because I'm running low. So before I'm done, as January rolls around, let me just order and stock it up for now.
Another thing, we did talk about sanitation. We talked about some labeling in your kit per state board. Another thing is keeping track of expiration. So things do expire. So replenish them before they expire. And you actually mentioned that you depot and condense your kit to be more portable. We forget because it's not right there for us to see like, 6 months just went by and these lipsticks are no longer good. Mm-hmm. We need to make sure we're marking the expiration dates too to keep, you know, our kit up to date.
And ingredients, you know.
Oh yeah.
There are some incredible artists who I've seen them. They're like, I have a very long, expansive ingredient list. And that's great. You know, if you have the time and ability to do that, awesome. But just again, knowing your professional quality products, what's in them, what the claims are, you know, I'm not going to go too much into my resume, but I've worked at, you know, beauty stores, some that offer pro products and others that offer to like mass consumers. Great brands, great products, but there was definitely a difference in how things were marketed and who purchased. And because of that, you know, things were very clear. You knew what was in it. And then as soon as there was a formula change, the artists all over were just like, whoa, this is performing differently. So you do have to adjust, but it's very important to understand what those ingredients are because if you rely on it not having this, or you rely on it having this and then that changes, you have to update that. But also understand that there are clients who are allergic to so many things. And asking those questions and knowing what to grab in your kit because you know what's in it. If someone's allergic to latex, if someone's allergic to coconut, avocado, I have things in my kit that I love that may have it, but I also know how to do what? Grab something that doesn't, that'll still create the effect and the outcome that is necessary for the look.
Yeah, I think the last thing we'll talk about, because I just thought of it as you were talking, is making sure you have a contract, something that tells exactly what they're signing, what they're getting into. taking retainers for the actual services you're going to provide, and also, like she said, like makeup allergies, like a questionnaire so that you know what you're getting yourself into. Like you have to remember that these are your licenses, these are your livelihoods, even if you're not licensed. You want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and your families.
Absolutely. It's very important to, we've said a lot of good things, but having it, as Judge Judy says, within the four corners of this contract, it really helps to keep all of those things safe, because if there are mistakes made, not your fault, or if there are just sort of misunderstandings, it has to be within these walls in order for you to defend yourself or to really just pursue, unfortunately what has to be pursued. You have to, because, you may not be this huge major corporation, but you are a business. And you've taken on that responsibility. You went to school, you got licensed, you invested in your kit, you got amazing products, you have a great network of artists that you learn from, and now you're dealing with a client who is threatening to ruin your livelihood, all because you didn't have it on paper. So that's definitely something that, take that all in and put it on paper, because that little investment, that time to type it up, will save you in the long run.
Most definitely. So we're going to hit that on another episode when I bring our other artist from the team, Natalie, on to speak with us, because we're going to go into, websites, social media, contracts a little bit deeper, and also trademarking. So we're going to hit that on another time. But Nicole, it was awesome learning from you and speaking with you. I'm sure you'll be on another time.
Absolutely. This is great. Ashley, I love you. I'm telling you, from day one, I knew you had it in you.
All right, now I'm going to cry. Talk to y'all later. Bye.